You're watching K34QB, Vail, Colorado.
Welcome to Good Morning Vail. For this Thursday, January 18th edition, I'm one of your in-studio hosts, Ben Rooft, joined by the wonderful Kimberly Perot, and I hope you guys are ready for a great day out there. It's going to be nice and warm. There's a bunch of snow out on the ground, so get ready for some tasty food today on that first hour. Your Good Morning Vail starts right now.
Things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
Let's take a quick look at the weather outside before we get started with our show this morning. 8 a.m., it's nice and warm, 30 degrees out there, moving on to that high of 34 towards the afternoon. Morning snow showers with a partly cloudy afternoon today and a 40% chance of snow. Winds from the west at 10 to 20 miles an hour. As we take a look there at the hourly forecast, we'll see those snow showers start to die off there around noon with that high sometime between noon and 4 p.m. there. The clouds will start to break there right before sunset and things will start to cool off around 8 p.m., looking at about 23 degrees there. As we take a look at that I-70 corridor, we've got it partly cloudy down in Denver with a high of 41 degrees, high of 34 in Vail with that 40% chance of snow, 40% chance in Avon with a high of 35, and another 40% chance in Eagle with that high of 37. As we take a look there overnight, we've got that low of 20 degrees, or 11 degrees with a 20% chance of snow. Winds from the south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles an hour and partly cloudy overnight. As we take a look at the rest of the week there, on Friday, another warm day, partly cloudy. On Saturday, a slight chance of snow with a high of 43 degrees. Sunday, a 40% chance of precipitation with a high of 38. On Monday there, we've got that 38% chance of snow, high of 38, partly cloudy. And then on Tuesday, it's partly cloudy with a high of 40 degrees. As we take a look there at the snow totals, Beaver Creek has 7 new inches of snow today, with 7 in the last 48 hours for a season total of 133 inches and a 43-inch base depth. Lifts are going to be running from 8:30 to 4 p.m. today. And then we've got 25 lifts open, 151 trails, and 67% of the terrain. As we take a look over at Vail, we've got 9 new inches of snow there in the last 24 hours, 10 in the last 48 for 163 total of the season and 60 inches as our base depth. Again, lift hours are going to be 8:30 to 3:30 today. And then we've also got 29 lifts open, 253 trails, and 91% of Vail Mountain is open there today. Kim, are you getting out and doing any skiing this weekend?
You know, I am definitely getting out there to shred, especially with all of this fresh powder and the refills we've been getting all week.
It's so good out there right now. My legs are already tired, and we've got more snow coming this weekend.
You got out there yesterday after the show, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I got out there and skied most of the day yesterday.
I was so envious. Unfortunately, I had some personal responsibility, so I couldn't get out there. But you know what? I'm going to try to do it today.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers
well,
crossed.
If you're out in Beaver Creek, we'll have to take some wins together.
Yeah, we'll definitely do a couple of laps there. But, you know, I think it was a slow warm-up to the winter, and now here we are, and it is here in full force, and I think it's just impacting all of the U.S.
You know, they say it's sort of the deal with El Nino, that it's kind of a little bit of a later start, but then we're supposed to get a lot of snow here in that midwinter area, like late January, February, and into March. So hopefully once spring rolls around, things will be really, really deep, and that'll be awesome.
Well, it's really hard to believe that we're already in the third week of January, and we're wrapping it up right now. But we've got a very exciting first half of the show. You know, we were talking about sports, got some more cooking, and lots more in this first hour. So we'll be right back.
We do.
We will be right back after this.
Good morning, Vail.
Join us on board the Leadville Railroad Winter Express. Stay cozy in our heated lounge cars. Marvel at the stunning winter landscape. Sip delicious hot chocolate. Don't forget to check out our new specials. Book today at leadvillerailroad.com.
Hi, it's Julio from TV8 Vail. Do you ever wonder why our tagline is "There's more for you on 92"? Because we're always bringing you more. More Good Morning Vail from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. all year long. More local coverage with Vail Vibes and Covered Bridge on TV8. More opportunities to participate with new roundtable panels on Mountain Perspectives and our new Spanish programming block coming this fall. Find us on Comcast Xfinity Channel 92, on YouTube, or our website at tv8vail.com.
For TV8 in Vail, I'm Avisha Scarborough at the Gerald R. Ford Amphitheater. We'll see you next time. Hi friends, welcome to a little behind the scenes. I'm Avisha Scarborough, and I'm so excited to be part of the team at TV8 in Vail. I love the outdoor lifestyle here, I love the arts and culture, and I love being part of this community. My show is called Vail Vibes with Avisha, where I tell you about all the amazing activities going on here in Vail and surrounding areas all year round.
Good morning, Vail.
It's Thursday, and you know what that means. It is the mid to late week sports update with Robbie Whittle. Robbie gives us the update on boys and girls high school basketball, Colorado State versus Air Force basketball, as well as Keystone's hike to ski access bowls and much more. Let's take a look.
All right, thanks for joining us. So on Tuesday evening, Eagle Valley and Grand Junction boys basketball met on the hardwood, where the Devils were looking to extend their 4-game win streak to 5. With only one loss in the new year, Eagle Valley boys basketball was looking to knock off Grand Junction, but this game was going to be a dogfight for the Devils. Eagle Valley with the ball in the first half. They find Brian Fontana behind the arc. He'll fire for 3 and get it to go for the Devils. Eagle Valley looking good early, but Edison Dean will answer with a contested 2 on the other end for Grand Junction. Tigers back with the ball. They'll find Jota Medina all alone behind the line. He fires the three but misses. Have no fear though, as he gets the missed bucket cleaned up by his teammate Brady Page. A missed three for Eagle Valley will cause Dylan Zoller to elevate. He grabs the rebound, puts it back up, and scores for the Devils. Another missed three lands in the lap of Brady Page of Grand Junction. He'll go back up with the ball and have another cleanup job complete for the Tigers. Grand Junction back with it. They'll move it around to Dean, who drives and fires from mid-range and secures the bucket and whistle for a trip to the line for the potential three-point play. Eagle Valley looking to answer. After setting a block, Fontana will make himself available on the perimeter. He fires the three and sinks it for the Devils. Aiden Phelan will get a quick one to drop off the glass for the Devils, but Grand Junction will surge back with Brett Wyotek. He takes this one all the way to the basket, going coast to coast, and secures another bucket for Grand Junction. Later, the rebound is missed by the Devils, and it is taken away by Tyson Lafombre, who goes all the way to the basket, secures the 2 points, and gets the whistle for the Tigers, getting that and one opportunity as he was dragged to the floor. Eagle Valley put together a good show at home, but was unable to complete the job as they fall to Grand Junction. Now, Eagle Valley girls basketball also took the court on Tuesday evening and faced off against Grand Junction as well. And we got those highlights for you next. Eagle Valley High girls basketball has been in a bit of a slump lately as the team has lost 3 games straight, but the Devils were looking to turn it around at home against Grand Junction. In the first half, McKenna Young will let it fly from beyond the arc, and that'll drop in good for the Grand Junction Tigers. Storming down the court now, it's Josie Fitzsimmons, and she means business as she maneuvers her way straight to the basket to give the Eagle Valley Devils the smooth layup. Eagle Valley will continue to keep up the strong game in the paint as Abby Talbot patiently waits for an opportunity to strike. She does and makes the Tigers pay with another bucket in the paint. Grand Junction now moving it around. Genovesa Lane finds an open lane to the basket, gets the bucket to go, and a whistle to earn herself a trip to the charity stripe. Moving over to the second half, Devils all business with Reef Kinney, who secures the fast break bucket. Then they'll find Kinney again alone on the arc. She fires, and that three is good for the Devils. Eagle Valley starting to heat up, but Grand Junction will answer. Lauren Kelly will handle this one herself and take it all the way to the basket, through Devil traffic, and secure the bucket for the Tigers. Kinney, now on the inbound, will find Talbot, who goes up strong with the ball and gets the bucket to go off the glass for Eagle Valley. Whistle blows, and she'll secure a trip to the line for a three-point play opportunity. Devils now back on the attack. They find Kinney again behind the line. She'll fire and knock down another three for Eagle Valley. Eagle Valley playing together as one unit and takes down Grand Junction to end their 3-game skid, and now sits at 5-7 on the year. Changing things up and hitting the town of Edwards, where Vail Christian boys basketball was looking for their 3rd win on the hardwood of the Newman era.
That's number 7, that's his first personal. Team foul number 3 for Capital Academy.
Now, over at Keystone, the brand new Bergman Express chairlift has recently opened for the 2023-24 ski and snowboard season. And the access that this new lift gives you lets you see some of Keystone's high alpine terrain. Keystone Resort opened the entirety of Bergman Bowl with the new chairlift, allowing guests to explore over 250 acres of high alpine skiing and riding, including one of the nation's highest green trails, 10 Mile. Once terrain in Erickson Bowl opens, the total acreage accessed by the new chairlift will be about 555 acres. While Bergman and Erickson Bowls have previously been open for hike to skiing and riding access at the resort, much of Keystone's hike to bowl terrain has largely gone underutilized. For the first time ever now, both Bergman and Erickson Bowls are accessible by lift to a variety of skiers and riders at the resort. Bergman Express allows guests to easily lap the mellow and welcoming terrain in the Bergman Bowl, as well as access more advanced terrain in Erickson Bowl that connects back to the Outback Express and Wayback lifts. So, in addition to the new lift, the project also includes a new sustainable patrol hut, new snowmaking infrastructure in the lower parts of the Bergman Bowl, and a brand new trail map to reflect the reimagined ski experience in Keystone's high alpine. Bergman Express is Keystone Resort's first lift access expansion since the Outback Express debuted in 1991, more than 30 years ago. Well, the latest edition of the men's college basketball AP Top 25 poll has been released. Well, as you can see here, Colorado State has fallen out of the top 25 as they recently lost back-to-back games against fellow Mountain West Conference opponents. Colorado State did host Air Force in Fort Collins Tuesday evening and were able to walk away with the 78-69 win over the Falcons. With the win over the Air Force Academy, Colorado State improves to 14-3 on the season and is positioned 6th in the Mountain West Conference standings. They do have the most votes to get back into the top 25, and an important game against UNLV on Friday could decide whether or not they make it back into the top 25 poll. Well, Colorado State certainly has a chance to get back into that AP top 25 conversation if they can go 2-0 this week. They already knocked off Air Force, but they've got a tough game against UNLV on Friday, so we'll see how that game goes for the Rams. But make sure to continue coming back to us for all the latest sports coverage here in the Valley and beyond. We'll see you next time.
Each week on The Tech Show, you can look forward to the latest in technology and how you can use it too. We'll also chat with leading experts, and you'll find out if the latest gadget will take my money or not. Don't miss The Tech Show. Tech your local listings.
Thank you for watching Good Morning Vail. Have an amazing day. Get on out there, soak up that sunshine. We'll see you tomorrow right here for more Good Morning Vail. Bye, everyone. Hi, I'm Gretchen Bleshaw. You might recognize me from the Glitz and Glam with Gretchen. Maybe you hear my voice on the radio from time to time or see me out at a concert or two. I love concerts. If you see me out, the long mermaid hair, I'm almost 6 foot tall. It's hard to miss. Come and say hi, give me a high five, and make sure to watch me right here on TV8.
My name is Tyler Alvarez. I work here at Sweet Basil in Vail. I'm a bartender here. I originally came to Vail to snowboard. I slept on my sister and my cousin's couch for what was supposed to be a week, turned into 2 months, and then I found my own spot, and then kind of made friends and worked different places in the valley and kind of just fell in love with it more and more every single day, and ended up finding my way to Sweet Basil through some friends who worked here and all the great things that I heard about it. And yeah, I've been here for 4 years now. It's hard to wake up in Vail and be upset when you look outside. It's just beautiful. My favorite part about working at Sweet Basil is definitely that I could be proud about everything that we're putting out, whether it's food, drinks. We also get to be really creative here. The bartenders, the whole team here, we workshop our menus every season, so we'll start with a spirit or an ingredient, and then we get to be really creative and make a whole project of it. And then when we get the final product, it's a drink that we're all really proud of for the whole menu, and that's super fun, just being able to be creative and work with new things. And the most fun cocktails to make, though, are definitely the ones that we get to create from scratch. When people take a sip and say, oh my God, this is delicious, or they just love it. And that's probably the most fun for me, the creativity behind it and making unique cocktails. That, for me, that would be the most fun drink to make, just the one that you start from scratch and then people are excited about. I'm Tyler, I live and work in Vail. Come see me at Sweet Basil.
Good morning, Vail.
It's Kimberly here with the TV8 Weather Center. Let's take a look at the forecast throughout the day today. As you can see, snow, 40% chance, definitely having those morning snow showers. It's come down, so it's going to be some great powder out there if you plan to shred a bit today. As we look, a high of 34, so warming up, which is quite nice. Partially cloudy this afternoon. Winds coming from the west, 10 to 20 miles per hour. Looking at the hourly forecast today, noon it'll be 31 degrees with snow showers starting to taper off around then. 32 degrees and partially cloudy, 23 at 8 p.m. tonight. And those clouds are continuing to keep us blanketed in the cold. Denver, 41 degrees and sunshine. Vail, you can see those snow showers are continuing throughout the day until about noon. 34 for the high in Vail, 37 in Eagle. West, 5 to 10 miles per hour, and tonight's low will be 11 degrees. So definitely a chilly one, but not as cold as we've seen recently. Friday, partially cloudy, 38 degrees for the high, 19 for the low. Saturday, 20% chance of precipitation, but looks like we've got those pretty bluebird days that we love so much here in the valley. 43 for the high, 24 for the low, mostly cloudy on Sunday, 39 for the high and 22 for the low, and then clouds throughout the beginning of the week next week. 40 for the high, 15 for the low as we make our way into the last full week of January. Looking at the snow report in Beaver Creek, they have gotten 7 inches in the last 48 hours, which is pretty great. Season total, 133 inches. In the base is 43 inches. So we'll be able to have some nice spring skiing based on that base depth, and more to come, I am sure. Lifts spin from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then looking at the trails, they've got 25 lifts open, 151 trails, and 67% of the terrain is open. So if you've skied everything, we still have more to go as we continue throughout the season. Heading over to Vail, they've got 10 inches in the last 48 hours. Season total, 163 inches. The base depth is 60 inches as well. Lifts are spinning from 8:30 a.m. to 3:30. 29 of those lifts are open. 253 trails are open. And then Vail has 91% of their terrain open. But I bet you didn't know, today is National Gourmet Coffee Day. Ross and I got into the kitchen and we made a delicious sugar cookie latte. Let's take a look. We are in the kitchen for the second day in a row.
Yes.
I'm making Ross into a chef.
Yes.
He doesn't know yet, but that was part of the reason he signed up for this job.
Yeah,
Cooking lessons on air.
Yeah.
But we are actually going to make, I love a good holiday festive cocktail, and I traveled this past weekend, went to one of the local coffee shops, and they were all out of the festive holiday drinks. I know, can you believe it? So we are making a Starbucks dupe, or a fancy coffee shop dupe, I guess I shouldn't say Starbucks, a sugar cookie latte recipe. And the trick to that is all in the simple syrup. Did you know that?
Of course, yeah, of course.
Of course,
Yeah.
obviously. So it's super simple. You can use an espresso or regular coffee. If you're making this at home, chances are you're probably just making a regular coffee. But we're going to go ahead and get started, and we're going to make this simple syrup. And this is where the secret ingredient kicks in. So I'll tell you all about it. With it, we've got you've got 3 different extracts in this one. So a butter extract, and that's what's going to make it taste like the cookie. And we've got a vanilla extract and almond extract. So 3 different extracts, 2 different kinds of sugar, and some water. It's pretty simple.
Love it. Love it. Sounds
awesome.
delicious.
Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. So, Ross, I'm going to tell you what to do, and we're going to start mixing things up in our pot to make our simple syrup. So we need about 1/4 of a cup of water to get started, and the water will be our base. So we've got a bottle of water here. I've got the man in the kitchen to open things for me. Just kidding, I could do it myself. But we're gonna pour about a half, we've got a half a cup right here, measurement style. So we'll just do about half of that with water. And then we'll pour the water in here. So looks great. We've got it, it's already heated, nice and sizzling. Next, we're gonna add our sugar. So we've got 2 different kinds of sugar. If you want to reduce some of the sugar count, you can use a monk fruit sweetener, which is actually what we're gonna do here today. We're going to do about 1/4 of a cup of this. So same thing, we're just gonna take our measuring cup and do about half of it. So no pressure.
Are we doing this monk fruit?
We're doing the monk fruit sweetener versus regular granulated sugar, but we will have 2 kinds of sugar in this. So just about half. Looks good to me.
Straight
We'll
in?
just dump it straight in there. Now we're gonna add a little bit of the brown sugar because if you recall, when you're making cookies from scratch, you usually have 2 kinds of sugar in it. So we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of brown sugar into our mix. The tablespoons are the big ones. If you're not a big cook in the kitchen, make sure you use the biggest spoon for tablespoons. Okay,
We're getting there.
We're getting there. So it's really super simple, and you just want to start like kind of just making sure that the sugar doesn't burn. We'll just do 2 of those. Yeah, it doesn't have to be super packed in there.
We're going to be a little generous with the brown sugar.
We are. I'm okay with that. Yeah. Now the next pieces are the fun ones. So we're going to go ahead and separate this. We need 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So vanilla is like a staple in all things baking, you know. Yeah. We'll do about 1 teaspoon in here. There we go. Perfect. It's okay if you go a little extra, as I always say. Vanilla, you can always go a little bit overboard and it'll taste good. Then we're going to do 1/2 teaspoon of the butter extract, and that's what's going to make it taste like a cookie. So just 1/2 teaspoon of that. There we go. And then we're going to do 1/2 teaspoon of the almond extract. And I love a good almond flavor when I'm baking. Sometimes I actually swap out my vanillas and my almonds, and it tastes quite delicious.
It smells amazing right now.
It does, right? We're just having a little Christmas cheer over here. It's a sugar cookie latte, but I think you could really actually use it all times of the year, right? So we're just gonna stir it a little bit. You know, it really doesn't matter. Minimal tools in the kitchen if you need it. You're just gonna stir it. You can see it's starting to like brown up a little bit. You just want to reduce it down, like let it thicken.
Cool.
And then this is gonna be our simple syrup.
Cool.
Now, the best part about simple syrup, making it from scratch, this will last about 2 weeks in the fridge if you wanted to keep it in the fridge. So that way you've got delicious lattes for 2 weeks long. It's probably just about the same price as buying it at a Starbucks. So I think it's a win over here. But then really super simple. You know, are you an espresso guy or are you a coffee guy?
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
Depends on the day.
All right. So if you were ordering, would you prefer a latte or coffee? What would you do this morning?
I like the skinny flat whites, like the small one, like a little less milk, you know.
I'm about the same. So what's great about this, you can follow exact measurements to make this coffee cocktail, I guess you could call it, or you can kind of just freehand it. So we warmed up some milk. You can use any milk that you want to. So for each latte, you'd probably do about 3/4 of a cup of milk. But for you, if you prefer a little bit less, you can just do like half if you want to. And so this is starting to look really good here. We're just going to let it simmer a little bit. And then you do about, to get a true like ratio so you can really taste the syrup, you do about 3/4 of a cup of coffee. And then like 3/4 of a cup of milk. And then 1/4 of a cup of coffee. So less coffee, more milk for that true latte. You can froth it up with like a little frother or steam it, whatever you've got on hand, or you can just warm it up and it tastes delicious.
Lovely.
So we'll go ahead and we got our fun Christmas coffee mugs here, or winter coffee mugs, I guess you could say, and a little bit of coffee. So we'll pour some coffee into it. Wish us luck though, it could be messy.
So we'll do about half and half.
I'll do about half and half in there, and you just want to pour that in there. As you can see, this simple syrup is really starting to look nice. It's browned a little bit because of the different extracts that we've got. Smells delicious. Do you smell the sugar cookie?
Yeah. I also smell the coffee I just spilled all over the counter.
Hey, it's okay. You know, it's live TV, live cooking, all the deliciousness. So then once we do that, we can actually add a little bit of milk into both of them as well. And our milk is warm, so it's not going to cool down the coffee. And we'll just keep stirring it here. This simple syrup is looking great. And just keep letting it kind of burn down a little bit. And you know, it's bubbling up, and that means that it's reducing. So the sugar is starting to caramelize and get a little bit thicker. That's where the water base kind of keeps it from going Loving Ross's face. One of my favorite things about being in the kitchen with Ross is watching the outcome.
You got a little cleaning up to do after this, that's for sure.
Hey, that's like a kitchen at home, you know? It's like made with love.
That's what it is. Well, when you bake, you have to be very precise, right?
Exactly. But, you know, that's the beauty of this. We're not really baking.
This is
it's
just
the latte.
Yep.
It smells like a cookie, but it's not.
Cool.
So, and then if you really want it to be sweet, and I'm like a medium sweet kind of girl.
Okay.
So typically I would do about 3 tablespoons of our simple syrup. But I don't know about you. I'm probably going to do 2 in this latte and try it out. So what's your
I'll take whatever's left over.
Well, hopefully not too much.
No, you
yep,
tell
it
me.
looks great to me. We're just going to go ahead and do a couple of spoonfuls here. One there.
That was pretty. You made that look very easy. You want to do another one?
We'll do another one. Why not? You know, it is pretty easy. And the best part is because our coffee's hot, we don't have to let this cool. It'll just taste quite delicious.
There's some nice mugs, too.
I won't tell you where I got them, but a local artist.
Love that. Love that.
By the name of Amazon.
Love that.
All right. And the best part about this is because it's the holiday season, I normally don't do whipped cream on my coffee. Yes. But we are making a delicious Starbucks dupe in a gorgeous mug. We don't have the paper cup mugs.
Yes.
I'm just going to do a little bit of whipped cream along the top. Do you want some?
There is more whipped cream than coffee right now.
Well,
and that's how
TBD. TBD. But this is what it would look like. You can add some sprinkles to it. Just quite delicious. And I think it smells so good. So
cheers.
Cheers. Happy Tuesday. Merry Christmas.
That's amazing.
And I taste a sugar cookie.
That's sweet,
it's quite delicious. So if you want the recipe, obviously ping us on our Facebook page, follow us on social media, and we'll share it with you. But it's great to have at home, especially if you're hosting a large group of people. You can just make them something delicious.
That was quick.
It was quick. Quick and easy. Not all things take forever. Anyways, we'll be right back. We are just getting started with our show. I'm really glad that I have a cup of coffee to enjoy over this next couple of hours.
Yep. All right.
We'll be right back.
Good morning, Vail.
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
Familia, estamos muy emocionados de por fin presentarles nuestro nuevo programa completamente en español, Conexión Latina, que se estrena este lunes 21 de agosto a partir de las 7 de la tarde. Por el momento, el programa se transmitirá los lunes, miércoles y viernes de 7 a 7 y media de la tarde, con una repetición de 7 y media a 8, así que no hay excusas para perdértelo. Te recuerdo que puedes sintonizar nuestra programación a través del canal 92 de Comcast, nuestra página web tv8vail.com y nuestra página de Facebook TV8 Conexión Latina. Acompáñanos en esta nueva aventura llena de información y entretenimiento local. No te lo pierdas.
Well, Archer and I are going to get headed on further down the trail, but I hope you'll catch up with us a little bit later. Hi, I'm Ben Roof, and I'm one of the new hosts here at TV8. I'm so excited to share all of my explorations throughout the Vail Valley with my dog Archer, where we'll be taking you to hiking trails, biking trails, maybe we'll go rafting, fishing, or whatever else we can come up with. I'm so excited to share all of that with you in my new segment, Outdoor Adventures. Don't forget to catch up with us every day right here at TV8 Vail or at tv8vail.com because there's always more for you on 92.
Do you have an interesting hobby or skill you'd like to share for Vail Valley? We want to hear from you. We're looking for people to share their musical, artistic, culinary, woodworking, athletic, or technical talents on Good Morning Vail. If you'd like to share your talents with the community, email Danielle at tv8vail.com. Join the community conversation. There's more for you on 92.
Join us on board the Leadville Railroad Winter Express. Stay cozy in our heated lounge cars. Marvel at the stunning winter landscape. Sip delicious hot chocolate. Don't forget to check out our new specials. Book today at leadvillerailroad.com.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. Whenever you're getting out to go skiing, whether you're just coming here for a visit or going somewhere else, it can be a little bit of hassle to handle all of that extra equipment. And we've got Brendan Ford here, owner and CEO of Trip Hero. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You guys
Thank
have
you.
a bit
Thanks
of a
for having us.
solution for us, right?
Yep, sure do. So we handle the whole process. So somebody's coming in, say from New York or LA, we'll pick up all their items of gear right at their house and then deliver it to wherever they're staying. So they don't have to schlep anything through the airport, no baggage fees, no baggage claim. They get to skip all that madness and go directly to the flight and then directly to the resort. The next time they see their stuff, usually in their room at their hotel or their Airbnb.
And it really kind of skips that risk, too, of a little bit of a mishandling and baggage claim, right? Or if you end up having that transfer, you won't have the experience of you end up in Jackson Hole, but your skis end up in Malaysia.
Exactly, yeah. So, FedEx and UPS are very good. They're 98+% on-time rate. But even like days like yesterday, Trip Hero, we have people in the resorts that we serve. So here, Beaver Creek, Aspen, Telluride, Park City, Deer Valley, etc. We have people on the ground that can actually go get things. Like yesterday, I spent my day in the car going to FedEx to pick stuff up because the Vail Pass has been closed since Friday. So no trucks from FedEx came up, but we were still able to get everything to our guests on time.
Well, that was going to be my next question, because with pass closures and with any sort of inclement weather, that can put all sorts of delays on people's travel. But if their equipment or their luggage has already left, a lot of times it can beat that traffic or beat that weather and get there before them.
Yeah, yep. And so your stuff, the feeling of knowing that your stuff's already in the resort when you get on the plane, it takes the anxiety out of the whole travel. So we'll send text messages and notifications when the stuff arrives here, so the guest actually knows that their stuff is at the Park Hyatt Beaver Creek before they get on the plane in New York, which is a big relief for our customers.
Well, and that can save a lot of hassle too with renting equipment, because that can be pretty inconsistent quality too. And if you have your own gear, it's really nice to be able to take advantage of that. I mean, I know personally, I'm not a big fan of borrowed equipment. I like what I like. I like how my boots fit. I like how my skis ski. And when I'm out there, I like to be familiar with my equipment. And when I've traveled in the past, I've had a lot of trouble, especially with oversized luggage, getting it to my destination and getting it home safe. I've traveled as a hockey player in the past internationally and as a skier, and in both cases, I've lost hundreds of dollars worth of equipment trying to use the airlines.
Yep.
When I was a hockey player, my hockey skates and my hockey skates and my hockey sticks ended up in Malaysia, and I was in Sweden.
Yeah, a little far off.
Exactly. So tell me a little bit about how you guys kind of help manage making all of those little bits that much easier and that more and more convenient as you're traveling.
Yeah, so the biggest thing is, we encourage people, again, because we have people at the resorts that we serve, we're the only company that does that, we encourage people to ship early. So during Black Friday, during the holidays, we send out emails to our customer database like, ship your stuff early, avoid the holiday rush. So our guests and our customers will ship a couple weeks ahead of time sometimes. It allows them to know everything's here. They don't have any worries about their trip. They don't have to worry about the snowstorms, etc. But having the people on the ground allows us to not only ship stuff early, but also if stuff does come up, like crazy snowstorms like this weekend, we have people on the ground that can actually fix the problems for the customers. And that's having just an extra level of service, on top of FedEx and UPS already great service, but ours just puts more service on top of theirs.
Well, you guys are pretty affordable too. I mean, for a bespoke service like this, it definitely sound like something that might be hundreds of dollars to get somebody to pick up your gear and deliver it to your hotel. But Trip Hero is quite affordable too. And so tell me a little bit about how that works. Like, do you guys handle, whole families, individual people? Let's say, I'm traveling with 3 kids. How do you guys kind of take care of that?
Oh yeah, so families love it, all right? Especially if you travel with kids, all the ski gear, all the clothes, etc. We have families that ship 10, 15 bags at a time. So the families, it's just a huge value for the families, but also for, the snow chasers, somebody that wants to just go. We actually have storage. So we can store the stuff for the guests, and we'll ship it, they're chasing the storm here, and next time they're going to Park City, we can ship it to Park City. So they don't have to see their gear back at their house.
That's cool.
Until after the season's over.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So you guys just kind of can hang on to it. Like if I was living in New York City and had the ability to travel to Jackson or Mammoth or Big Bear or Vail or wherever I might be, Trip Hero can just have my equipment ready when I arrive.
Yes, sure do.
Don't have to worry about it back home at all.
Nope, just order from us, have it, we can ship stuff as fast as overnight. We try to get people to ship the, 5 to 7 business days because that's the most economical way to do it.
Makes sense.
But, if people plan their vacations, especially for ski trips, so when you're in your planning process, just think like how you can get your stuff there earlier. And a lot of times it actually saves the customer money if you're traveling with your big ski gear, etc. Because some airlines charge up to $250 for oversized bags.
Exactly.
Our biggest bag is $199, so we were comparable to the airline cost and with none of the hassle.
That's really awesome. So let me ask you about contingencies. Just in the event that something goes wrong, how is Trip Hero there to kind of help back people up?
Yeah, so the first level of service is like we did yesterday. We sent trucks to FedEx to pick everything up because they weren't delivering stuff on time. So we got it to our guests. But if something happens where, the Vail Pass is absolutely closed and there's no way that somebody can get here, we actually have a partnership with a local company, Progression Brands, where they rent some of their brands to us to provide to the guests. So
awesome.
If you use Trip Hero, we guarantee that you won't miss a day on the mountain. We'll get you on rental gear. It's not your gear. It usually takes 1 or 2 days extra if it's delayed for weather. But we will make sure you get on the mountain. There's nothing like the airlines where you're just kind of waiting. We'll send somebody, get you fitted for boots, get you fitted for skis, get you fitted for clothes, and you'll get your time on the mountain. At the worst case scenario, that doesn't happen a lot.
And so that way you don't have to spend hours on the phone fighting with the airlines, trying to get some money back because of how much you've lost on your trip and everything. It's a great way to really kind of ensure that things go a little bit more smoothly. Especially with kids. And the younger kids can have a really difficult time with the luggage, with the skis. I mean, even when they're wearing their boots, and they've got all the equipment on, it can still be such a hassle just to get them to the hill.
Yeah.
I mean, through the airport and all of that, to avoid having to deal with the luggage entirely is just such an awesome service.
Yeah, you walk through the airport when you ship your stuff and you're looking at everybody else like, why would they do that? Once you do it, try it. Customers, try it. Once you do it, we don't have 75% of our customers return.
I would imagine so. It seems like a really, really wonderful service. Anything else you want to tell us about Trip Hero? If you guys doing anything special coming up?
So we're expanding outside of just skiing. So we just opened our first hotel in Florida, in Jacksonville,
Awesome.
the Hyatt Regency Jacksonville in December. So our services will soon be offered in for golf clubs and for surfing and for beach vacations as well.
I mean, it seems like it's an ideal service for any sort of adventure sport, travel activity, just anything that requires a little bit of extra equipment. I mean, even if you're just going for 2 weeks, to save having to deal with an extra suitcase in the airport, it seems like such a value.
Yeah, it makes everything easier.
And what cities is Trip Hero available in right now?
So all the Colorado ski resorts. We're also in Park City, Salt Lake City. So all the Salt Lake City area ski resorts, and then a couple of the California Mammoth, etc. But focused on the ski resorts right now, but working on Scottsdale in Florida as we speak.
Does it matter where you're coming from?
Nope, doesn't matter. Anywhere in the U.S. Yep.
Awesome.
We do international as well, but there's a little, depending on country, it can get more complicated.
Awesome. Well, Brandon Ford of Trip Hero, thank you so much for joining us. Make sure to check him out and check out their fantastic services for any of your travel needs if you're bringing a little bit of extra luggage with you. We'll be right back with a little bit more Good Morning Vail right after this.
Good morning, Vail.
It's the fastest half hour in television. Toyota's Race Week takes you inside the high-speed world of NASCAR. Go behind the scenes for a look into the high adrenaline world of motorsports and hear from your favorite drivers as they discuss the drive to a championship. If you love NASCAR, you won't want to miss Toyota's Race Week.
America was built on a love for the outdoors. We are a nation of sportsmen, blessed with magnificent natural resources. With broad interests across water and field, we are united in our devotion to nature and conservation. Join us every week for the best shows celebrating the outdoor lifestyle. Outdoor America. Live free.
Join us on board the Leadville Railroad Winter Express. Stay cozy in our heated lounge cars. Marvel at the stunning winter landscape. Sip delicious hot chocolate. Don't forget to check out our new specials. Book today at leadvillerailroad.com.
When you're in Vail, you're in vacation mode, and you need a flexible home tour experience that fits into your schedule. We've transformed how you view and buy homes in the Vail Valley. With immersive, cutting-edge technology, you can explore properties 10 times faster. In our lounge, we guide you through this digital world on a 16-foot screen where you can imagine your next home in comparison to your favorite recreational spots. Say goodbye to multi-day home tours and hello to a quick stop between your other plans. That's the power of the Immersion Theater.
I'm Amy Goodman, host of Democracy Now! Our independent news hour offers diverse perspectives and unique opinions, often unheard in the mainstream media, live as the news unfolds. Tune in for Democracy Now!, the War and Peace Report, weekday mornings at 9 and evenings at 6 on TV8 Vail, Comcast Xfinity Channel 92. There's more for you on Channel 92.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. As we're getting started in our adult lives, we always hear invest, invest, invest. And the earlier we get started, the better we're going to have impacts in our investments. And Julio sat down with Beth Stentz from Edward Jones to talk a little bit more about the advantages to getting started investing earlier in your life. Let's take a look.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Now, if you're anything like me, then you know that personal finances can be a little bit of a struggle sometimes. However, a new research or a new study from financial services firm Edward Jones suggests that while millions of young Americans in the U.S. feel these financial pressures, they also feel optimistic about their future. To tell us more on this topic, we have joining us this morning Denver-based financial advisor Beth Stentz. Beth, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me, let's dive right in. Tell me a little bit about this new study that was conducted by Edward Jones and kind of a brief overview of what some of those results were.
Yeah, this was really a fun one for me to get the results for. We as a firm are really interested and passionate about what the future of financial advice is going to look like. So we thought it was really important to get a good view of the Gen Next cohort. So that age group is 18 to 34. And this will be the future of what we need to do as a firm to help serve them holistically and completely. So we just asked some questions to really get to understand where they are financially, where they want to be, and what's really important to them. And what we found, one really interesting thing that we found is 80% currently view themselves as struggling to survive, and they're really just getting through paycheck to paycheck, but they're extremely optimistic about their future.
Now, I'm just finding out I'm part of this Gen and Next age group, so I definitely understand kind of some of these pressures when it comes to finances, especially, you know, when, as the study cites, we've been through, you know, a pandemic, some of those recessions.
Yeah, 1 in 5 of you has already been laid off, is what the survey said. So you've already experienced job transition.
Now, despite some of these challenges, Beth, what do you think are kind of some of the other characteristics that define this age group, or why is this age group so important?
Well, what I loved is you all defied a lot of the stereotypes, right?
Yes.
So, which is great. You were found to be resilient, optimistic, action-oriented. You value face-to-face connection. So of those surveyed, most of them said they felt happiest when they're spending time with their friends and family. You're also the most diverse cohort. So half identify as non-white and 20% LGBTQ+. Also the most educated cohort in history. So 1 in 3 have college educations, 1 in 4 have a bachelor's degree or more. Really impressive group.
Yeah, no, we are definitely a resilient group. And like I said, we've been through a ton, but I think the fact that we're all so optimistic about our future really speaks to kind of that, you know, some of those characteristics that you mentioned. Now, in terms of our approach to work or finances, Beth, what are you guys seeing with this age group?
Yeah, so one thing that really stood out to me is I think growing up, a lot of this age group saw their parents do the 40-hour work week, one or both of them, and just not seeing the work-life balance that they craved. So for them, they said that wealth is comfort and not necessarily luxury. So they just want to have stability. They want to have time with family. And what I loved the most is that most of them said mental health was the single biggest contributing factor to having a happy, healthy lifestyle. And they also said employer loyalty is less important. So it's really more about finding work-life balance and finding purpose in their career, more so than just being with one employer.
Yeah. I can definitely kind of, you know, attest to witnessing some of this mind shift when it comes to work and our approach to working, you know. And I kind of want to ask you a question from kind of your personal experience, or, you know, your perspective as a financial advisor, because I know that the study mentions that, you know, a lot of these Gen Next or people in this age group, we kind of have this more short-term mindset when it comes to our finances, and we're kind of focused, you know, on our day-to-day. And as you mentioned at the beginning, we're kind of going paycheck by paycheck. What are your thoughts about this kind of short-term mindset? Is it good to have this sort of mindset, or kind of what do you think we can do to kind of shift and start looking and planning more ahead into the future?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's really important to seek out professional advice. What was encouraging for me is that a lot of them did go to their parents. Only 20% went to TikTok, which, as we know, is like the WebMD for financial advice. We don't need to be going to TikTok for advice, but a lot of them were concerned that they didn't have the assets to manage to warrant financial advice, and that couldn't be further from the truth. I mean, even 1 hour with a professional can give you some really good takeaways to implement going forward. And one of the challenges with this cohort is not all of them have health insurance. Only half of them admitted to having health insurance. Only 30% have a retirement plan. Yeah. These are things you can get outside of your employer, but they're so crucial to have. I mean, one emergency could be financially devastating for you. So you don't have to look too long term, but just have the future in mind while balancing, you know, student loans and credit cards and anything else that life kind of throws at you.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you for that piece of advice there, Beth. Now, as you mentioned earlier, and as the study cites, 66% of Gen Next, we still prefer some of that face-to-face interaction, especially when it comes to financial advisors and meeting with the financial advisors. So where can folks go to learn more if they want to meet or simply, you know, get some more information?
Great. edwardjones.com/financial future. You can also go to edwardjones.com, and there is a search feature to find a financial advisor near you.
Awesome. Well, there you have it, Beth. Thank you so much for joining us this morning and talking a little bit more about this important topic, which is finances. You know, I think there's always tons to learn when it comes to our personal finances and really having a plan. And as you mentioned, kind of starting to look a little bit more into the future. So I appreciate you joining us today.
Thanks so much.
We're going to take a short break, but we'll be right back with more of the show.
Good morning, Vail.
Eyepieces of Vail has been a fixture in the Vail community for over 30 years. From designer frames and sunglasses to high-performance sports frames, prescription goggles, and in-demand accessories like helmets, goggle lenses, and foldable reading glasses, our inventory raises the optical bar. Visit one of our 7 locations today and see why generations of loyal customers return time after time for our unmatched service and inventory. Eyepieces, the art of vision.
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
For fun and adventure, join me on Elizabeth Stanton's Great Big World. Find out where I'll be going next and which celebrities I'll be bringing along with me. I'll show you amazing destinations with lots to explore, and you'll get to know my celebrity guests the way they really are, up close and personal. We'll travel the world, experience new cultures, and together, try to make a difference. I'm Elizabeth Stanton, saying the world's a big place, and I'm going to show it to you.
When people think of world-class destinations, they're drawn to a place that provides opportunities for fine dining, shopping, superior lodging, exciting events, and unparalleled outdoor activities. Park City, Utah, and Vail, Colorado are renowned destinations for travelers and extraordinary homes for residents. Feature your exceptional products and services in these 2 luxury communities. Advertise with Park City Television and TV8 Vail. Contact us today.
Do you love the outdoor lifestyle? Make sure you tune in every day at 8 p.m. to catch Scoreboard Nation. It's an outdoor lifestyle show dedicated to your 3 favorite mountain towns, Vail, Beaver Creek, Park City, and Reno, Tahoe. Join us for an incredible venture. Find us on TV8 Vail, Park City Television, or at thescoreboardnation.com. We can't wait to see you there.
You're watching K34QB, Vail, Colorado.
Happy Friday Eve. It is Thursday, January 18th, and I'm your host, Kimberly Pro, and joining me in the studio is the fabulous Ben Shields. But on the second hour of the show today, it's going to be an interesting one. We have Colorful Cooking with Tracy, Vail Vibes, the weather update, and National Geographic's latest geopolitical docuseries. So a lot happening in the second hour. Hour 2 of Good Morning Vail starts right now.
Get up, get ready to start your day. The mountains are calling you out to play. Come on, we'll make you feel right at home. Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
Thank you for that great introduction, Kim. And it is a wonderful day out there this morning here at the TVA Weather Center. Looking warm at around 8 a.m. at about 30 degrees, moving into that high of 34 towards the afternoon there. 40% chance of snow throughout the day, but mostly in the morning, with those snow showers starting to die off towards the afternoon. Winds from the west 10 to 20 miles an hour throughout most of the day here. As we take a look at the hourly forecast, we've got this morning about 30 degrees and cloudy with those snow showers starting to die off around noon. That high hitting sometime between noon and 4 p.m. with things cooling off around dinner time, seeing the temperature at about 23 degrees at around 8 p.m. As we take a look at the I-70 corridor there, down in Denver, we've got a high of 41 degrees, partly cloudy, with a high of 34, with a 40% chance of snow in Vail, 40% chance in Avon with a high of 35, and a 40% chance in Eagle as well with a high of 37. As we take a look at the overnight forecast there, we've got a 20% chance of snow with a high of 11 degrees or a low of 11 degrees overnight, partly cloudy with winds from the south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles an hour. As we take a look at the rest of the week there, Friday, partly cloudy with a high of 38 degrees. Saturday, a 20% chance of snow with a high of 43. Sunday, we've got that 40% chance of snow, mostly cloudy with a high of 39. And then on Monday, we're seeing that high of 38 degrees with a mostly partly cloudy sky. And then on Tuesday, it's also partly cloudy with that high of 40 degrees. And we've got a beautiful snow day out there with 7 new inches of snow at Beaver Creek and 60% of their total terrain open. And in Vail, we've got 9 fresh inches with 91% of their mountain open over there. And it's just going to be great skiing out there today.
It really is. You know, those Powderhounds are out there chasing it
Definitely.
down. So it's
They're already lining up at the chairlifts, I am sure.
The lift lines have been pretty fun to watch over the past week.
But you know, when you've got a powdery day like that, and it's a little bit warm like it is going to be today, you can really start to work up a sweat.
It's true.
And one of the great things about these Smith helmets is those air vents up top and the coiroid system that really helps keep those vents nice and open, keeps the helmet so light, and allows that airflow to run nice and through. And you can see right there that beautiful little honeycomb pattern. That's what they're talking about with that coiroid system.
And it's really great too, because you know, if it is a colder day, you can just push it down and close the vents, but you can close the back half if you wanted some of the front on these Smiths. I love these helmets.
Exactly. Close it up when you're on the chairlift, open it up a little bit when you start skiing, let a little bit of that ventilation go so you don't overheat. It's a great thing about the system.
It really is. And you know what else is great about this helmet? You can install your own audio into the helmet, you know.
I have a pair of those audio chips in my helmet, and it's so great.
It really is.
Not only can you listen to a little bit of music to help keep your rhythm out in the mountain, but another great thing about it is when you have those ear chips, unlike having an earbud in, you can still hear the people around you.
It's true.
You can have conversations on the chairlift. You can hear skiers coming towards you, which is super convenient.
And what else is great about this helmet is you've actually got these, you've got this cable system, so you can tighten it around the back. So it really is more of a customized fit on your head. So this is just to loosen it, and then you just tighten it to the right. Lefty loosey, righty tighty is how I like to remember that. But it's pretty great. And Smith also has some great goggles to match that helmet. So you've got a really nice flush.
Exactly.
Zero gaps in your helmet between your goggles and your helmet.
And one of the great things about it is how they're designed to just match up perfectly right there and eliminate that wind tunneling right in your eyes.
That's true. Well, with that, you can go to Eyepieces of Vail to get matched up with your helmet and your goggles, but now all the different brands are starting to become a little bit more universal, so you can really customize what you're looking for, and Eyepieces of Vail is the way to go to do that.
Exactly, and their style guides will help you find the right goggles for your face and the right helmet for your head, and make sure that everything fits great out there. They've got 8 locations throughout the Vail Valley.
They do, and they're great. So we've got a lot in store for the show, so we'll be right back with the second hour after this.
Good morning, Vail.
Are you looking for exciting and nutritious recipes to cook at home? Watch Colorful Cooking with Tracy Miller on TV8 Vail. Tracy brings you the best in fresh and healthy foods for the active outdoor lifestyle. Stream online at tv8vail.com or find us on Comcast Xfinity Channel 92. There's more for you on 92.
Think Big features top kid inventors who face off against each other to see who can come up with the most innovative and creative invention. In Think Big, kids acquire and showcase their skills in creativity, science, marketing, design, and don't forget, teamwork. Check your local listings and watch the world's most innovative kids. They create and invent new toys, games, websites, and new modes of transportation. Tune in to Think Big.
America was built on a love for the outdoors. We are a nation of sportsmen, blessed with magnificent natural resources. With broad interests across water and field, we are united in our devotion to nature and conservation. Join us every week for the best shows celebrating the outdoor lifestyle. Outdoor America. Live free.
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
Hi, I'm Gretchen Pleshaw, host of TV8 Vail. From fashion to food, from film to festivals, experience a unique look at the boutiques, spas, restaurants, and venues that make the Valley so special. Join me for Glitz and Glam. Find it in Good Morning Vail or at our website at tv8vail.com. I can't wait for our next adventure.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to the show. We are once again joined by recruiter guy Bill Humbert, who's got some wonderful advice to share with us on how to make a change in our careers or how to just, make that career change path a little bit smoother. Welcome to the show, Bill.
Ben, thank you so much. It's great to be back.
Well, it's so great to have you back. So, looking a little bit towards changing our career paths and trying to make a shift, what are some things that you keep in mind, kind of let us know that it's time for a change in our careers?
I would say there's probably 3 things to keep in mind. One is sometimes you don't have a choice. The company has a riff or the manager has a problem with you and they just lay you off. So that at that point, you got to find a job. The second is, maybe you've topped out and you want to be more successful and make better contributions, but you just can't get there in that company or that manager. It's time to find a job. And then the third is, if you just begin to get that spidey sense that things aren't going well, even though you're making contributions, start looking now. Don't wait until you get laid off.
Well, it was great reasons to kind of start keeping an eye on start that job search. But once you get started or once you're in that position where you're ready to make a change, it can be a little bit challenging to get started. And just the job search in general can be pretty nebulous. So do you have any advice on how to kind of come up with a good goal setting and to really keep that finish line in mind?
Absolutely, Ben. So the first step is to quickly decide what kind of job you want or need, or what you're looking for in a new position that would be even more fun for you. And then define a little bit more about that position and the skills and experience that you have that would help you fit in that position. And then the potential companies who have those positions.
So almost like coming up with a couple of different lists. One of the things that you're looking for in the job, the things that you think that you can provide to the new job, and the places that you think you can find that?
Exactly.
Which seems pretty straightforward. What's the next step after that?
Then you create, so you're talking about making a list. Then you create a spreadsheet with a list of everyone that you know. Family, friends, coworkers, former managers, managers who liked you in your current company and hate to see you leave, people from church, everybody. And then add their phone numbers, and then the dates that you contacted them, because you want to track that. And then if they're a first level LinkedIn connection and you don't have their phone number, a lot of times their phone numbers are in the contact information. And so that part is the part that's very important for your networking, because now you have a list.
So with that list, what are we doing with it? Are we we're making those calls, working our way down the list and contacting everybody. Are we trying to just let them know that we're on the market for new opportunities? Or you think that we should be using something a little bit more specific?
A little bit more specific. I call it the Here I Am speech in my books. And the Here I Am speech, the first minute and 30, depending on how much experience you have, you talk about some of the really major accomplishments that you've made in your position. And then you talk about why it is that you want to leave your job right now, or why it is you're looking for a job right now. And then finally, what I would like in my next job is, and then just spill it out in about 15 seconds. And where most people make a mistake is they ask, do you have any jobs available? And when they ask that question, even to me, and I'm a recruiter, my knee jerk is no. The question that you should ask is, who do you feel I should speak with next? And you're hoping for them to say, our company is looking for somebody right now. And then you say, well, can you introduce me to the manager? And that introduction is much, much more effective than trying to post and hope somebody's looking at your resume, because they're not.
Definitely. And I mean, my experience too, like sometimes it can be really difficult if you're looking for a specific job, figuring out who those people to contact are, because sometimes the list on the website, all the Google searching you can do, you can only find out maybe the head of HR, not necessarily who's the hiring manager or the department head for the department that you're trying to apply to either. And that can be a little bit tricky to try and find just the right person to make that call to. So,
there's this software product and service called LinkedIn. And when I'm recruiting, that's what I use. I use LinkedIn, and I look for people within companies first, and then I work down the list, and then I make connections with the ones I want to connect with. If you're searching for a job, you want to look for the people who are at the top. The vice president of marketing, the vice president of sales, the vice president of operations. Those are the people you want to talk to. And even if you're not able to talk to them, lots of times they'll say, well, send me your resume. And then what they do is they pass it down. And if you're a manager and a vice president hands you a resume, are you going to at least talk to that person?
Definitely going to give them a call. But my first impression there would be, it seems to me like some of those higher level people, they might either have a gatekeeper to get access to them, or they might not necessarily have the time to deal with minutia like hiring. What advice do you have to make that initial connection?
So if they feel like hiring is minutia, then it's time to pass them on, because that means they're not interested in building their team. And team building is one of the most important jobs of executives and hiring managers. So if that's what they feel, then you move on to some other company where hiring is important.
Well, because that work culture is very much set from the top, isn't it?
It does. It does. And that gives you strong indication of the culture of the company, and it's probably not one you want to be part of.
But how would you go and make that initial connection with somebody in one of those high power positions, especially if you don't necessarily have a pre-existing connection?
What I have coached my people who are looking for a job and they followed my coaching is to send that person a LinkedIn invitation. You have 200 characters and hello, Bob. Hello, Mary. I see that your company has a position in operations, and I've worked in that position and made some major impacts with my current company. Would you like to link on LinkedIn? And then add your name and phone number.
And just a quick little blurb, quick little introduction to kind of what you might offer and why they might need to take some time to talk to you. Exactly, Ben.
So career search, like recruiting, mirrors the sales process perfectly. And in my book, I go through that. It's a sales process that people have to go through. And, the true work is when you're going out and you're starting to look and network, here are the metrics. If you talk to 2 new people per week, it will take you 1 year to find a new job. If you talk to 10 new people per week, you'll find a new job in 6 months. If you talk to 20 new people per week, so 2 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon, you'll find a job in 90 days. And I have found with the people I've coached, it works. Might be 89 days, might be 91 days, but it's right around that 90-day mark.
Awesome. Well, Bill, speaking of your book, I hear you might have a little bit of book news coming up.
I do. I have a book signing in Park City at Dolly's Bookstore on Main Street, and they've always treated me amazingly well. And so I'm excited about that because I get to meet some new people and talk to them about their careers. So it's going to be Friday, March 22nd at 2 p.m. at Dolly's. And, come out and join us. Even, if you're out over here skiing, come out and join us. It'll be great to meet you, and you get to meet Recruiter Guy live and in person.
Well, awesome, Bill. It's been so much fun to have you on. And as always, you've got some really great advice for us. Make sure to check out recruiterguy.com or head over to Dolly's Bookstore on March 2nd for that book signing.
22nd.
22nd. Thank you. All right, Bill, thank you so much for stopping by. And we'll be right back with a little bit more show right after this.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome aboard. Bobby Laurie and Nikki Noya have your ticket to everything you need for an on-the-go lifestyle. Grab your boarding pass. It's time to jet set.
Coming up this season on Ready, Set, Renovate, real homeowners tackle really big renos.
Welcome to the ugliest house in the neighborhood.
It's a wild ride from before to after.
If we go to the tile store one more time, only one of us is coming out alive.
Well, I didn't know he was going to do all that.
Between the budget and the timeline, it's makeover madness.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to the show. As we're starting to get into February, it's National Children's Dental Health Month. So we are now joined by Scott Cashin of the American Academy of Pediatric Dentistry to talk a little bit about why it's so important to make sure that we're taking care of our kids' teeth. Welcome to the show, Doctor.
Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. So it's my understanding that cavities are some of the most common issues in children's health. So tell us a little bit about that and just kind of why that's so common.
Yeah, so children do get cavities, and we're all about preventing those cavities. So we're recommending that children have their first visit to the dentist by age 1 or when that first tooth comes into their mouth, because we know if we can get a child into the dentist's office and the pediatric dentist's office in particular early, that we can prevent them from getting those cavities that you were speaking of by showing parents how to brush the teeth and take care of them. And if there is a problem, we can catch it before it becomes a big problem.
And it makes sense to me that the earlier you get the kid into the dentist, not only does it give the pediatric dentist the opportunity to kind of watch how those kids' teeth are developing and kind of keep an eye on any potential problems that might be arising, but I imagine it also kind of gets them a little bit more used to taking care of their teeth and kind of putting that bug in their mind a little bit. So it's something that they're kind of thinking of, even though they're pretty young.
Absolutely. That is exactly our intent, is like, we want to start it young. We want them to see that coming to the dentist, you don't come because there's a problem. You come because it's just what you do is on a regular basis. And we want to make it fun. And our offices are designed just for that, to make it fun and to create that positive experience for them so that they will be dental patients for a lifetime.
Well, and I imagine that setting that foundation early in the child's life can go a long way to preventing that adult hesitancy to visit the dentist and that, aversion or fear that a lot of grown-ups can have too.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I have parents in my office that tell me, they were scared to go to the dentist and they're trying so hard not to project that on their child. And so I say, well, let me handle it. Let me talk to them. Let me tell them, use my words and things that I say to make it positive, and that let them kind of be passive in the background so that we don't continue that cycle of not having good experiences at the dentist.
Well, and speaking of the parents, I imagine from their perspective, it can be a big challenge to just make sure the kids are staying on brushing their teeth. I know it was a big issue for myself when I was a kid. I was super forgetful, especially when I was like 12. And I would forget all the time to brush my teeth. And how do you encourage parents or help parents to kind of get the kids to remember to brush twice a day, or even floss if, we're really going for those stretch goals?
Right, there you go. So I think it is a struggle, and I tell parents, like, hey, it's real. And what I tell them is, at that young age, the parent just needs to be getting in there, that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever it may be, get in there and help their child, let them have a turn, and then the parent gets a turn as well. That's going to help really get those teeth good and clean. As you get to that age of 12 where you were, I think we all kind of have that sort of like, that's like the last thing we want to deal with. But a lot of times what I'll tell parents is to, tell them, remind them, sometimes a sticky note on the mirror or a little alarm on the phone these days, whatever it might take to remind you to do that brushing before you head off to school is an important part of that. And sometimes it's just a matter of saying, hey, you don't want to walk out the door and have stinky breath. So sometimes it's just a matter of what might work for that older child to get them motivated.
Is there any time of year that you would really recommend going to the dentist, like a ideal window? I would imagine, if I was just going to guess, kind of that November or January neighborhood where we're either, after Halloween or after all of the sweet treats that come in through the holidays. But I'm obviously not a dentist, so tell us a little bit about, like, when's the ideal time to go into the dentist for your annual checkup?
Well, I think the ideal time is for it to be regular. So whenever you start, and I like the idea of, like, if you haven't started and you've had Halloween or the holidays, whatever it may be, and you've had a lot of sweets, to start then and then just go regularly. We recommend twice a year. And the main thing is just getting started and taking your child and seeing a pediatric dentist. And then from there, they'll guide you and make sure that you have the best care so that your child will not get those cavities on those teeth.
Is there anything to like look out for as a parent just in between those checkups? Things to keep an eye out for, like either in your kid's behavior, things that might be indications of cavities, or anything else that you kind of want to keep an eye on to make sure that each visit and those time in between the visits can still be good times for people's teeth?
Sure. Well, first and foremost, of course, the brushing 2 times a day for 2 minutes. And as you said, the stretch goal of going and getting that flossing done, that's going to be the first part. But as you watch your child, if you see them wince when they're eating something cold, or you see them not want to brush in a certain area, you might question them, is something bothering them, or you see them sort of grab their face. Anything like that might be a sign that something might be happening, and you may want to just take a look in the mouth. And sometimes if you're helping them brush, just taking a look. If you see something that just doesn't look quite right, a spot on a tooth, it's worth just having it checked out by your pediatric dentist.
Well, and to branch out just a little bit beyond cavities, if we're seeing the kids' teeth develop, is there any early indications that you think orthodontic work might be things to either look at or to get ahead of? Anything that you could think of in that regard?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, I think all parents want to look at the shape of the teeth, how they fit together when the child is smiling. We actually recommend children having their first visit to the orthodontist around the age of 8. On average. Some are going to go older, some may go a little bit younger. That might not be to put braces on at that time, but if there is a problem developing with the teeth as far as where they're coming in and what positions they're in, that kind of thing, then this just gives the orthodontist and the pediatric dentist a chance to work together to get them the timing right to get that care when it is indicated.
I know from my own experience that was definitely something that my family dealt with when I was a kid. My sister went through like a ton of orthodontic work, and somehow I managed to avoid it entirely. But that kind of combination or that kind of difficulty can be a challenge for the parents. Anything else you would recommend in just kind of keeping an eye out for the kids as their teeth are developing? Maybe if you do have different children developing in different ways.
Sure. I mean, I think probably 2 big things. If your child had a habit when they were younger, a thumb, a pacifier, fingers, whatever it may be, you may want to look to see if the teeth seem to be a little bit kind of more, I call it flared out, or just kind of out a little bit further. You may look at that. When the child bites together, do you see a space, or do the teeth kind of overlap? Those are just a few things that parents can watch out for, but I'll go back to just saying the pediatric dentists on those regular visits are going to monitor that. We are trained to look at growth of children, and we will refer you to the appropriate person, orthodontist, if you will, at the right time, just for those very reasons. So it just goes back to those regular visits starting at age 1 are so important for all those kinds of things, not just cavities, but watching how the teeth grow and come in and all those kinds of things for sure.
Awesome. Dr. Cashin, before I let you go, where can people go to find out a little bit more?
Sure. So a little more in depth than what we talked about today is go to aapdfoundation.org, and that's going to give you a whole lot more information than we could talk about today, although I could do it all day. It will really be a resource for parents to even locate a pediatric dentist in their local area.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Scott Cashin, President of the American Academy of Pediatric Dentistry. You have a great day, and thank you so much for all that great information.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we will be right back with a little bit more show right after this.
Good morning, Vail.
Learn the latest in science each week and how it relates to everyday life. From space exploration to plant biology to the latest in high-tech advances. Every new scientific development is explored and explained in an understandable way. Amazing stories each week. Watch Science Now.
Familia, estamos muy emocionados de por fin presentarles nuestro nuevo programa completamente en español, Conexión Latina, que se estrena este lunes 21 de agosto a partir de las 7 de la tarde. Por el momento, el programa se transmitirá los lunes, miércoles y viernes de 7 a 7 y media de la tarde, con una repetición de 7 y media a 8, así que no hay excusas para perdértelo. Te recuerdo que puedes sintonizar nuestra programación a través del canal 92 de Comcast, nuestra página web tv8vail.com y nuestra página de Facebook TV8 Conexión Latina. Acompáñanos en esta nueva aventura llena de información y entretenimiento local. No te lo pierdas.
Pastel. And I'm Andrea Jackson. Welcome to Life, Love, Shopping. Have any personal stories you can share?
Do I? Yes, I do.
So even though you work with some good deals, too good to miss on flash deals. Now check this out.
Studies show spending time outdoors can help with depression, lowering blood pressure, and overall health and happiness.
Good morning, Vail.
It's Kimberly here. Let's take a look at the weather. As you can see, it's 40% chance of snow this morning, high of 34. That snow is continuing until about noon today. Partially cloudy this afternoon. Looking at the temperatures throughout the day today, 31 at noon, a few snow showers tapering off there, 32 for the high and 23 for the low, mostly cloudy throughout the evening hours. Denver, sunshine is back at it, 41 degrees. We've got 40% chance of precipitation across the Vail Valley, 37 in Eagle for the high, 35 in Avon, and 34 in Vail. So great temps to be out there on the slopes to eat up that fresh powder. Snow is a 20% chance, though, throughout the day, a low of 11 degrees, partially cloudy, and those winds will be coming at us from south by southwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. The hourly forecast, not much snow in the forecast throughout the weekend, but high of 38 on Friday, low of 19, 43 on Saturday. So much warmer temps than what we've been seeing, low of 24. Sunday, we do have a 40% chance of that precipitation coming back to visit. Mostly cloudy though, 39 for the high, 22 for the low. And then Monday and Tuesday, we're looking at high to upper 30s and 40 on Tuesday, 15 degrees for the low. But, you know, if you want to get out and about, Avisha shows us all of the fun things to do here in our wonderful community. She takes a look at some gorgeous art at a brand new gallery. Let's take a look.
Come on.
Hi friends, welcome to Vail Vibes. Avisha Scarborough here. Now if you've spent any time in Vail, you know that we have a vibrant art community here. And the latest addition to that community is a brand new contemporary art gallery with a long family legacy.
When Courtney Olson stepped into the role of curator and gallery director at Relevant Galleries, she was following in her family's footsteps.
My great uncle, Paul Zucker, he moved out from North Dakota to Denver very early on in his career, and he fell into the art world. He loved the art world. He, you know, in his home he has Moreaus and Picassos and just great, incredible artists. And he is a key collector in Denver in the art scene. And so when he started the gallery business, one of their next openings was actually in Aspen. And so my parents both got involved in that. And then you don't realize when you're sitting at the dinner table how much you pick up when you're little about the art world. And so I just joined 3 years ago. So we're a 3-generation family firm.
Their parent company, AD Galleries, has 11 established galleries throughout the Southwest. Courtney says she got to discover and choose a variety of emerging artists for this location.
That's the fun part. That's the fun part. We are always looking for artists. We probably get about 1,000 artist submissions every single year. And so typically in the springtime, we'll sit down, our executive team and each of our directors at all of our galleries will say, hey, this is what our clientele is wanting, this is what they're needing. And so we'll go through artist submissions, you know, we'll go out to fun artist shows and figure out, you know, who's selling and what are people wanting in the area, especially big name artists. You want to get attached to those, but then also it's supporting the local artists, it's supporting the emerging artists. Like we just brought in an artist that's right behind me. His name is Jeffrey Gersten. He is definitely, I would say, more of an emerging artist, but incredible oil painter. I mean, his pieces look like photographs, and he is out of Arizona. And so it's that fine balance of showing both sides. So this gallery it's a show gallery. It's meant to show kind of the best work out of, I think we have 6 different artists in here right now. And so really going through and finding those pieces that are that wow factor that people stop and you're like, I want this in my house. Pretty much every single artist we do have in here is extremely contemporary. We have everything from wall sculptures to abstract paintings to one of the top Native American artists that is more that contemporary oil painter in the front. And so it does have a really unique mix where someone could easily choose one from each artist and have their whole home done.
Their sister galleries, Gibb Singleton in Vail and Relevance Denver location, are known for representing the very popular David Yarrow.
He has just very interesting background from going from North American wildlife and South American wildlife into these new storytelling scenes that are very cinematically driven. It's like a little movie set inside of a photograph. We had some clients that actually got to go up to one of his shoots up above Leadville, and he did a Leadville shoot up there, which was pretty incredible. And it was that Southwestern, but it was like Cara Delevingne and a pair of skis walking outside of the saloon, and it's so creative. And I think that's a big part of his work and who he is, but also when you hear him speak, you're like, this man is a genius.
And if you want to meet David Yarrow, Russell Young, or any of the other artists, keep an eye on the Relevant Gallery's website for upcoming events.
We're looking forward to doing a lot of incredible events. We have almost every single one of the artists that we have represented in here. We're going to be doing a show with them. We're going to be flying them in for a weekend, doing a show, having live music, bartender, all the fun things that you hope for a gallery show. But we'll be having, and it's really special to be able to meet the artist. And we're a very strong believer in you have to meet the artist to understand the art. When you meet the man behind the magic or the woman behind the magic, that's a whole different story.
Sounds incredible. We can't wait to dive deeper into the art and learn the stories of these talented artists. For TV8 in Vail, I'm Avisha Scarborough.
Good morning, Vail.
For fun and adventure, join me on Elizabeth Stanton's Great Big World. Find out where I'll be going next and which celebrities I'll be bringing along with me. I'll show you amazing destinations with lots to explore, and you'll get to know my celebrity guests the way they really are, up close and personal. We'll travel the world, experience new cultures, and together, try to make a difference. I'm Elizabeth Stanton, saying the world's a big place, and I'm going to show it to you.
Eyepieces of Vail has been a fixture in the Vail community for over 30 years. From designer frames and sunglasses to high-performance sports frames, prescription goggles, and in-demand accessories like helmets, goggle lenses, and foldable reading glasses, our inventory raises the optical bar. Visit one of our 7 locations today and see why generations of loyal customers return time after time for our unmatched service and inventory. Eyepieces, the art of vision.
Welcome back to the show. Rumor has it that there's a lot of football games coming up, and big ones at that. So Tracy Miller is up next with a delicious appetizer that we can make for entertaining our guests for the football games. Let's take a look.
Welcome back. You're watching Colorful Cooking with Tracy Miller, and I'm Tracy. Thanks for joining us. All right, we're going to get down and dirty in the kitchen with a pretty easy recipe. And this is a recipe that I decided to share with you because everybody asked me for it. Anytime I make it for anybody, when I'm catering, they want this recipe. And it's a vegan recipe as well. So a lot of people are really excited about that. We start off with 3 small zucchinis, and I have shredded the zucchini in my food processor. So what you do after you shred the zucchini, squeeze it out. You'll be shocked how much water there is in there. And then we're going to put some green onions in there too, just to give it a little bit of a kick. So I say we do about a 1/4 cup of green onions and just slice them as small as you can. Get them going all the way. They smell really good. Green onions are spring onions, so they're of course in season right now. They're very fragrant. They're really good for you. Of course, put about a 1/4 cup. So we have 3 cups of the zucchini, a 1/4 cup of the green onion, and then what we're going to do is put some salt and pepper. When you are seasoning your food, I don't care what it is, don't be wimpy about it. Like, be pretty generous, especially with veggies. They need salt, they need pepper, they need some good flavors. Okay, my pan is warming up, so I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in it. And this is what I like because we're not deep fat frying them. We're not going to get as many calories, but we're still going to get a nice flavor. And it's nice and warm right here. So now we have our salt and pepper, we have our zucchini, we have a little bit of green onion, and I'm going to put a little tarragon in there too. And when you're using dried herbs, just use a little bit and smush them around in your finger a little. That kind of wakes up the herb, and you can now smell the tarragon. It smells so good. And I'm going to do a tiny, tiny pinch of nutmeg. Don't overdo that one or else you'll taste it the whole time. So typically I would put an egg in here, but I was working with some vegan customers the other day, and I didn't put the egg in there, and I like it better this way. So if you feel like it's not clumping together enough, you can put an egg in, but I would say about a 1/2 cup of flour. So we're going to get that in there. And interestingly enough, I told you to drain out all the water, but we're going to add just a little bit of water so that that is a binder. That's going to bind everything together. And here we go. This is when you get really messy. See how that's all coming together, and it's kind of starting to stick together too. So we're going to make little zucchini balls out of this, and then we're going to put them in the pan and fry them lightly on each side. So what happens, this is a real quick process actually. See how easy this is? I mean, I hope people still hire me to make them zucchini fritters because it's so easy that I wonder if you won't anymore. And now we're going to make little balls out of it. So we'll go like this. I'm going to bust out a whole bunch of these. They don't even have to be like that pretty. When you're putting them into your pan, you want to hear your pan sizzle. So I'm going to crank this up a little bit because we're going to put a bunch of cold zucchini in a pan and try to get it to sear up. So that means the pan is not going to be quite as hot. All right, so here we go, making these little balls. This is a fun thing to do with the kids too. And like I said, the vegans, they just really, really like this. And they're kind of hearty. So if you wanted to bring them on a picnic or when you're hiking or something like that, they're easy to transport and they'll fill you up. All of our friends who have gardens around here are about to start getting a lot of zucchini. So we'll give them this recipe. They'll give you their zucchini. You make some of these for them and everybody's happy. These don't take long, so you kind of want to keep your eye on them. If you overcook them, the zucchini will get a little bit mushy and it won't be quite as good. What happens at the perfect cooking temperature is the zucchini kind of melts. It melts in your mouth. It's so creamy and delicious. Okay, we are going to switch it up and not make it vegan anymore because we're going to make a little aioli for the topping of these zucchini fritters. But first, let me see if they're ready. They're sizzling. It's kind of getting hot in here. They're sizzling. Let's see. Nah, that's not crispy enough. I mean, it could be if you want to be like that, but we are going to crisp it up just a little bit more. And look at how little olive oil I have in there. And I cook with olive oil over any heat. A lot of people say you can't cook with olive oil if the heat's too high, and olive oil will burn, but when you're making stuff like this and you're sautéing vegetables and something in the frying pan, you can use just a little bit of olive oil. See, it's not even soaked in there. So we're keeping the calories low. We're keeping the health benefits high. We are working with anti-inflammatory foods. Okay, real quick while these cook and then I flip them over, let's make an aioli for this. Aioli is super easy if you want to use some sour cream. What I do is about a quarter cup of sour cream, quarter cup of mayonnaise, a whole bunch of fresh basil, like the whole thing. And it's going to just, it smells so good in here. When I was setting up, everyone's like, what's that? Somebody's like, are those mojitos? No, they're not. It's actually basil, and it's just fresh. And all of this stuff is about to be harvested right now, so we're looking pretty good. I do lemon zest, and when you're going to zest your lemon, make sure you buy an organic one if you can. Use your zester. This just gives it the lemon flavor that you really need, like so good, so fresh, so much lemon. Of course, we need a little bit of the juice. So I'm just going to cut this bad boy, which is a nice lemon, not a lot of seeds. That's always nice. We're going to cut this. We're going to put some salt and pepper in there because basically, look at that juicy lemon. Yum, that's so delicious. Okay, and now I'm going to put some salt and pepper in here. I'm going to blend this when we go to break so you can just hear every word I'm saying right now. This is starting to sizzle up. It smells good. We're going to flip these zucchini fritters. I think it's time. So it's about 4 minutes on each side, and then you actually just let them rest for a moment. Put some of the aioli on them if you want that, and enjoy them. If you want your aioli to be a vegan aioli, instead of using the sour cream and the mayonnaise, you can use avocado. So that would make it vegan. We're going to have all the recipes on the website, so if you do want to make these, and I highly suggest you do, then we will have those on the website. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Vail.
Snooki and Scott show. We are feeling good today. Great show on the way.
Absolutely. Welcome to our show. I'm Suki.
I'm Scott.
And we are feeling good today. You know why? Because we had a great show.
I'm Amy Goodman, host of Democracy Now! Our independent news hour offers diverse perspectives and unique opinions, often unheard in the mainstream media, live as the news unfolds. Tune in for Democracy Now!, the War and Peace Report, weekday mornings at 9 and evenings at 6 on TV8 Vail, Comcast Xfinity Channel 92. There's more for you on Channel 92.
More than ever, kids need information to help them better understand their surroundings and to better protect themselves. Each week, this program works with the various law enforcement agencies across the country and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, spotlighting several missing cases, hoping someone, like you, might have information that will lead to finding these individuals.
Join us in exploring the everyday lives of community members here in the Vail Valley. Hear their inspiring stories of how they came here, their contributions to our community, and why they chose to call this place home. We want you to be one of our neighbors. If you would like to be featured or nominate someone to be featured, please send an email to danielle@tv8vail.com. We look forward to featuring your story right here on TV8.
Do you love the outdoor lifestyle? Make sure you tune in every day at 8 p.m. to catch Scoreboard Nation. It's an outdoor lifestyle show dedicated to your 3 favorite mountain towns, Vail, Beaver Creek, Park City, and Reno, Tahoe. Join us for an incredible venture. Find us on TV8 Vail, Park City Television, or at thescoreboardnation.com. We can't wait to see you there.
This show spotlights the latest innovations to create a greener planet. Join us next time as we explore new green ideas and present interesting green stories, and show you how some people are becoming real green.
Good morning, Vail.
Now, our next guest tackles some very important discussions that should be had. There are so many things that are happening outside of our normal day-to-day. Joining me today is the host of National Geographic's Traffic Underworlds with Mariana Van Zeller. Mariana, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Great to have you here. Now, congratulations. Season 4 officially hit the airwaves last night and is on Hulu today. So talk to me a bit about Trafficked and what we can expect out of this next season.
Absolutely. So Trafficked is a show about black markets. So in every episode, we tackle a different black market. I think most people don't realize how these black and gray markets actually make up for half of the world's economies, but we actually know so very little about them. In this season, it happens to be my favorite season so far. We tackled some really important and relevant issues such as illegal immigration and fake counterfeit medication, sextortion, which is a crime that's on the rise. We've got 10 episodes that are sort of roller coaster rides into these very secretive underworlds.
I'd say all of the things that you've listed and are highlighting in the season are definitely hot topics right now, especially in current events. So talk to me a bit about, how did you get these stories? How did you connect with these people? This, as you mentioned, it is a multi-trillion-dollar industry.
It's not easy. It's the hardest part of my job. I've gotten very used to being rejected because we get a lot of no's before we get a yes. But at the end of the day, I think it's several reasons that get people to talk to us. I think there's a level that people want to boast. These are some of the best traffickers, some of the best smugglers out there, and they usually, sometimes even their families don't know they do what they do. So we give them an opportunity behind a mask to sort of talk about what they do. I think there's a sense of impunity as well in many of these places, such as in Sinaloa and Mexico, where I've reported extensively. There's police corruption, there's government corruption, so they really don't see a downside to talking to an internationally recognized brand like National Geographic. And then at the end of the day, I think it's a human characteristic that we all share, this need to be understood. And I approach everyone that we meet always with empathy, and I tell them I'm here to try to understand why you do what you do, and I'm not here to judge, and that goes a really long way.
So Mariana, I'd love to understand, what is your passion behind telling these stories? What has inspired you and really motivated you to stay part of this project with National Geographic?
I've always been fascinated by these dark, secretive corners of the world. I think usually as a journalist, if you tell a journalist that there's a place in the world that you cannot go or a story you cannot report on, that is exactly what you want to do next. And I think that's been the case with me. But I also find it fascinating that there's this very parallel market, this very parallel economy that is happening parallel to the legal economy, parallel to the legal world. And yet, again, that sort of affects us all, that is all around us, and the knowledge that, you've got full organizations, newspapers, TV stations devoted to exploiting the ins and outs of the legal economy, and so little out there about these black markets. So I've devoted my entire life and my career to this.
Well, what are you hoping that viewers will get out of this season?
I think we have to understand that we have a lot of broken systems in our country, that, when we're talking about illegal immigration, for example, when you know that there are thousands of people that are dying trying to make it to the United States, and that the exploitation of these very vulnerable people is actually enriching the cartel and creating more violence, then we have to realize that there's a broken immigration policy in this country. When you have 20 million Americans that are having to buy their prescription drugs on the black market because they can't afford them here in the United States, there's something that we have to look at in terms of our healthcare system. So there's an accountability to all of this. We can point the finger at the criminals, but at the end of the day, we have to understand why these black markets exist.
That's exactly right. Now, where can we go to watch the show and to follow along on the journey?
So it airs every Wednesday at 8 Central on National Geographic, and you can watch 8 of the 10 episodes now on Hulu as well.
Excellent. Well, Mariana, thank you so much for your investigative journalism and the work that you're doing. It's very important to expose these people and the industry that is running parallel, as you mentioned, alongside our normal legal operations. So we appreciate you.
Thank you for having me, Kimberly.
Absolutely. Now, we have had such an incredible show here on this Thursday morning edition of Good Morning Vail. I've had Ben in studio with me. We've talked about pediatric dentistry, Trip Hero, all of the cool things that they offer, as well as National Gourmet Coffee Day. So if you want to head over to your coffee shop and get a fancy coffee, today is the day to do it. And as always, stay warm out there, shred those hills. We cannot wait to see you. It has been such a fun week. Tomorrow we've got more of Good Morning Vail, so stay tuned. I'm your host, Kimberly Perot, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for joining.
Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
Are you looking for exciting